Hello, wonderful people. Will back with another video again. Will Thunder Talks here. Come in, right here. With where we are today. I'm going to do a little reflect on a question today. Because you know how it is. You know how we do things here. If you don't, I'm Will. I'm a guy who talks about thoughts and ideas that I have in my head in these videos. So today, I guess the question is how some art hits differently for me. I guess with this question, I wanted to talk about a certain piece that's really been rocking my brain lately. I've been loving it. And I guess it speaks to something that I think is really quintessential about how I engage with art in general. And I've been reflecting on a lot, and I want to share with you guys why I like the art I like. So this might be interesting for those of you that don't really like art, and hopefully I will illuminate some points about what that looks like. So the piece is by Sakamoto Sensei. Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence is the name of this beautiful song. This song rings through time for me. I listened to it when I was at one of my many jobs yesterday on the radio, and it really captivated me. I've known of this song, I Feel Forever. So I racked my brain, I spoke to a lot of people about it, and I was like, does anyone remember this song? Does anyone remember this song? Nobody remembers this song out of everyone I've asked, which is really interesting. It's really interesting. But I think there's something really, really special about this song. So if you don't know much of the background of this song, the song was composed for a film called Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. David Bowie was in it. Kind of wild. And I don't know a lot about the film itself. I definitely watched this film like 15 years ago, when I was probably my first year or two at uni, and because I did a film degree. And I think something about the music of this specific piece hits a few really core points of how I experience and emotionally connect with music. So something that I really love about music specifically, and art in general, is it has to create kind of a layered contrast of emotion in me. So there are like some pieces of art, and I guess this is what I feel comes out of like more nuance as you learn more about art, because I think art reflects life, right? We go through life, we're younger, we have kind of more straightforward emotional responses to things. So we're happy when we get a treat, we're sad when we don't get a treat. We're angry when a bully takes our ball on the playground. But when we get older, in my experience anyway, we kind of have these more nuanced, complex emotional experiences where it's no longer good or bad. I've learned this a lot through kind of reflecting through therapy, but like there's a lot of emotional nuance that makes life feel richer. Okay? I think good art really reflects that. And that's one of the reasons why I love Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. I think it really it hits on this really bittersweet feeling, but there's some triumph in there. There's some delicate beauty in it. It feels really timeless to me. It hits so many different emotional notes. It kind of tells a story, which I think all great art does. Start kind of small and fragile, and then we kind of grow triumphant and courageous, and then we go off into the night, and we conclude. That might be a story concluding, that might be our lives concluding. Endings look different for everyone, but I think there's something really powerful about that. I use the wording art specifically because I've looked at art, I've read stories, tons of stories. I really feel like there are some stories that leave me, the ones that have been the most impactful on me, that kind of bittersweet feeling that make me feel like sad it's ending, but happy that it happened. And I felt like that at the end of the Lord of the Rings trilogy when I read that and watched it. I feel like this kind of emotional nuance really lights a fire under me of like what I really aspire to do in my own composing. I really feel like there needs to be a kind of really strong emotional experience in there. And it really needs to feel like a couple emotions at once. So I feel like when you listen to a piece and it evokes several kind of complicated emotions in you at once, that's a banger. That's a banger, right? That's and I say a banger on like a deep emotional level that makes me think, wow, this is so poignant, this is so meaningful, this is so true about life and where we're at. And I think that's like why art exists. I think that's why we love art. I think that's why art is great for the economy. I think that's why art speaks to the human experience. And that's why we all need art. And that's kind of why art hits different for me, because art isn't just pretty noises. Art isn't just nice colors. Art isn't just words in a book. Art is life. Art is the human capability to transfigure our experiences into something that others can connect with. We can all kind of have a collective shared emotional experience through some beautiful art. That could be through dance, that could be through painting, it could be through any kind of art form. All art's valid. And I think there's something really, really beautiful about this piece, Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, that really points at that. I think that this kind of piece is going to be around for hundreds of years. If anything, I like a bit of classical music, don't get me wrong. Liszt and Bach and Beethoven and all those guys are like cool, but like there's not a deep emotional resonance for me. There is with some Beethoven, because Beethoven's quite moody and melancholic, and I resonate with that a lot. But what really captivates me about this piece specifically is that amazing ability to create like a feeling of nostalgia, like I've heard this before, a feeling of that, like that bittersweetness that's really evoked. And this is kind of something I really love about Studio Ghibli as well. I think the Studio Ghibli music's amazing. It's why I had it at my wedding, and actually I think in a lot of ways this piece really inspired maybe a lot of the Ghibli music, because if my timeline is correct in my head, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Farewell Mr. Lawrence came out in the 80s, David Bowie was in it, whereas a lot of Studio Ghibli films, I think it's Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle came out early 2000s. So it would make sense timeline wise that there perhaps is an overlap, but I guess that's something that I notice about like Japanese film scores, maybe that's a broad generalization, please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but there's really something about their ability to, maybe it's the voicings they use, maybe it's the chord structures they use, the chord progressions, they really evoke this bittersweet, deep feeling. Perhaps it's something to do with how the Japanese reflect and part of their culture and how they look at the world. Very potentially. But I think that there's something really grounding and connective about that. And maybe it's that I love the collective connectivity. Maybe I like that there's something bigger that I can plug into and connect with and feel. And when I first listened to this piece, it really did make me cry. I think there's something so absurdly beautiful about it that I can't even get over it. I feel like that when I see any kind of grand art. I think art for me right now, when it's different for me, is like when there's something of a grand scale that connects us and loops us all into kind of a commonality of existing. That just feels so calming for me. So calming. I think that's why religion works. I think that's why we love collective gatherings. I think because we feel connected. I think we need more of that in the world. I think that's why I do what I do. I think that's why I love what I do. But I'm going to leave that there for today. That's how some art hits different for me. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. You've been wonderful. I've been Will. If you've made it this far, I appreciate you. Keep being however you are. Good luck with existing. Hopefully some art hits different for you. Take care, good luck, and I'll see you in the next video.